Welcome to another episode of Touchdowns and Turnarounds. I am one half of your host, Justin Frazier, my boy Brendan Sims, aka Smoke Souls, and we are reacting to the post fight of Teofimo Lopez versus Rolly Romero. Teofimo Lopez was able to defeat Rolly in a pretty convincing fashion. Smoke, what you think of the fight? What were your takeaways? And what is next for Teofimo Lopez?
Man, like you said, pretty convincing. So when I first heard majority decision,
Oh yeah,
I'm
that
like,
blew that
I'm
blew me.
like, what did that referee see? So I need his name, I need his affiliations, I need to know what he got going on because it's some FanDuel stuff happening there because that makes no sense. I understand sometimes they say the referees might be seated a certain way that they can't see the fight. They can't see certain punches sometimes, but I don't know how you scored at a draw. I'm looking at my scorecard right now, and I had it 9-3 TO. I had Rolly winning round 4, round 5, and round 7 was a swing round, but I leaned towards TO in that round. But yeah, I don't see how you land on a draw, man, because Rolly just did nothing. And I do understand sometimes the casual fan, they might see this picture right here and say, look at T.O. face. Rolly was cracking.
Yeah.
Man, Rolly hit that man one time, and T.O. told him after the round, you can't hurt me. Once I seen that, I'm like, oh, Rolly got nothing for him because Rolly only, I don't rate Ryan that high, but Rolly only beat Ryan because he stole his heart. You know what I mean? Like he took the fight out of Ryan. When T.O. told him, you can't hurt me, I knew he had nothing for him, man. And I'm seeing some people say that T.O. didn't damage Rolly. He was just more active. Well, that's boxing, bro.
Yeah.
The sport is to hit and not get hit. And he hit Rolly way more than he hit him. And look at Rolly left rib cage, bro.
I was trying to get a picture of that before
It
we.
was so red. Man, T.O. was. And then the other thing is like this. You could say that Rolly didn't get hurt, but why was he moving around more than T.O. was on his back
I was
foot?
about to say that's in my notes. All right. Yeah,
You know
we
what
on
I
the
mean?
same page. Yeah.
Why was if Rolly didn't if he didn't get hurt, and I'm not saying he got hurt or he got buzzed, but it's like if he didn't respect T.O. power, why wasn't he coming forward? You know?
Right.
So yeah, T.O. Obviously look a lot better at 147. It could be the opponent because again, just like Ryan, I don't think Rolly is this super elite fighter. That the Ryan win was super unexpected, but it's levels. T.O. is a three-weight world champ now. It's levels, man. It's levels, and T.O. proved that tonight. People picking Rolly before the fight. It's like I understand the optics. You looking at it like, yeah, look at T.O., look at his last fight, look at his dad still in his corner, but it's levels. The Loma fight wasn't a fluke. The Josh Taylor fight wasn't a fluke. He had a bad night in January, but it's still levels, man.
It's definitely levels. I think when we look at the fight and what T.O. was able to do, I think he was clearly the better boxer. And of course, we knew Rolly was unorthodox, definitely weird style, but like I think this is like a masterclass. Ironically, kind of like the opposite of what happened between Shakur and T.O. in what was that? Like you said, January. So, like, I just feel like T.O. was able to establish the jab. He seemed to be the more complete fighter. His offense had more versatility versus Rolly, where it just seemed like Rolly was really just going for hooks, trying to get T.O. out of there. But even when he had chances to get T.O. out of there, it didn't really feel like he pressed the gas enough. Especially in that, I think that was the fifth round when he hurt T.O. And he just kind of like after he hurt him, he went a little bit, but then next round I'm thinking he's gonna get back on him. He really didn't. He let T.O. ease in the rounds. He really wasn't active, like you said earlier. He was really doing the running. If we're being honest, T.O. was chasing him down. Us really investing in the body. I was super impressed by that. And then even later in the fight, as T.O.'s continuing to invest in the body, he started going more up top. And he caught Rolly with a mean uppercut, I think, in round 11. So it's just like, I mean, as much as people doubt T.O., as much as they try to hate on him, this is an elite level fighter. I think his dad was better tonight, too, in the corner. I think he had some
I
decent
agree.
advice.
Definitely
I
agree.
I think he learned a lesson. I think at least he was able to take some accountability, which didn't seem to be the case in that interview or podcast that they did was a week or so ago. But T.O. had a fantastic game plan today. I thought Rolly was too patient. I think he thought that worked with Ryan. And of course, T.O. being the great counterpuncher he is, I thought he thought the same thing would happen today, but it didn't. And Tio, like you said, showed it's levels to this, and why he is now the world champion for the third time.
Yeah, man. And another thing, uh, T.O. athleticism, like we always knew he was athletic. I remember the build up in the Shakur fight. It was kind of debates on who was more athletic, and Shakur was getting offended when everybody said it was T.O. because Shakur was like, "Well, if we played basketball, if we played another sport, I would win." But we ain't talking about that. We talking about like quickness, that in the boxing ring, Shakari had that stuff over him, but just in general, bro, like T.O. quickness, his balance, because even
Yeah,
in round five, somebody else going down off of that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You know what I mean? T.O.
There was
T.O.
a
is
few of them I thought he would go down.
no, for sure, for sure. Like you said, yeah, Rolly was just definitely had the same game plan that he had against Ryan, and that was the win of his career. So he probably thought like, okay, this is how I need to fight now. But Ryan not like that. It's like you can't use that game plan versus everybody, man. Ryan just became a belt holder this year. Like
Right,
all these years, these dudes been boxing. They've been the four kings and all him, Tank, Devin, and Tio. They've been the four kings for all these years, but Ryan became a belt holder for the first time this year. So like you wasn't gonna be able to fight the same way against him like you did Ryan, you know. So yeah, man, that was super impressive, man. The body work, man. T.O. really invested in that. Like you said, the jabs. He had a career high 62 jabs. Chris Mendick said on the post fight tonight. I did enjoy T.O. Post fight interview. Some of the comments he made, I kind of enjoyed that. Didn't really expect that from T.O. Talked about how he about to be a new father, so he's going to take some time off. But yeah, man, next for him. Uh, I know Jack Catterall is the mandatory supposedly, but we also have seen that him and Keyshawn Davis might be in they might be negotiating for a fight. And if they fight next, that's clearly a championship eliminator match. You know what I mean? So and I would have Keyshawn being Jack Catterall. So if Keyshawn beat Catterall, if that was to be next, and then the winner fight Rolly, that's you know what I mean? That's what boxing need. They're the type of fights that boxing need. Like we need the best to fight the best. And Keyshawn and T.O. at 147. I just think Keyshawn got more skills overall. But T.O. did show me something tonight. He got hurt. He faced the hardest puncher of his career and literally told him like it don't matter. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like somebody else get clipped and they eye leak like that, and you know it's a different story. TOI is pretty susceptible these days. Like I said, Rolly can crack, but it did seem like it was just that one shot that got him leaking like that. So but I mean, that's just a thing. Sometimes, you know, some boxers they bleed easier than others. But yeah, if it was to be Keyshawn and T.O. at 147, that'd be a good one. I do want to see how Keyshawn look at 147, but since he was draining himself at 140, I do think he probably will look better at 47. And I know also don't nobody want to hear the Keyshawn name right now. Off
uh,
of yeah,
uh,
I already know. Like don't nobody kind of want to hear that, but I still do respect the skills. I hate the optics of what it looked like with the Devin stuff, but obviously if you're trying to fight Catterall and then trying to fight the winner of the Rolling and T.O. fight, he's trying to get more leverage in the Devin fight. He probably feel like that this is a problem with boxing too, but he
yeah,
do probably feel like if I got a belt, then okay, now me versus Devin, we both get 10 million apiece. You know what I mean? Or maybe not even that much, but it's like if I show I'm dominant at this weight class and I got belts and I got good performances, okay, my stock went up. So now this fight is a bigger fight. So like I said, I know that's a problem with boxing, but I do see the play what Keyshawn is trying to do. But T.O., that ain't gonna be easy. That ain't gonna be easy, man. He showed me something tonight. That was a good dub for sure.
you know what I compared this fight to? In my notes, I compared it to Obi-Wan versus Anakin on Mustafar Star Wars Episode 3. If you know, you know. The reason I did that is because it just seemed like Rolly was in the Anakin role where he was landing the bigger shots, and he was, of course, like you said, to a casual, he was the winning fighter because he landed the bigger shots. He was more explosive. But Tio just investing, showing that championship experience where he's just investing in the body. He's not getting rattled by big shots. He's not getting rattled by moments where Rolly was able to, now I wouldn't say take control of the fight, but at least have some momentum, which I think even Tio did good with using clinches to try to slow down Rolly's momentum at different times, get him off his game when he did find some type of rhythm. But I just feel like I compared it to that Obi-Wan and Anakin moment because Tio was able to use the experience, and then at the now I wouldn't say at the end because it went to decision, but throughout the fight, he was able to still control what was going on. He was controlling the fight. He was level headed, which for Tio is saying something. And then Rolly, I think he seemed frustrated this fight, and I don't think I don't. I if you ask me who would be the more level headed fighter at this point, I would have said Rolly, who is also a little crazy, but I was thoroughly impressed with Tio, even mentally tonight, to stay calm because that fifth round looked rough.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I believe, it was a moment in the seventh round. I believe that was a little rough, but he stayed composed. Like you said, he said to Rolly walking away, "You can't hurt me," and I think in the end, Tio showed why he's Tio. He's a championship level boxer, super talented, super skilled. But if he does fight Keyshawn next, I mean, I'm down to watch it. But Keyshawn, man, you got to show me something, dog.
No, I definitely get it, and I do think Keyshawn is actually the fighter that kind of showed me um I'm kind of done picking off of I don't think this dude is in the right headspace. If that happened to be the case, cool. But I'm done picking off that. If you better than that fighter, I'm picking you. Because in the Jermaine Ortiz fight versus Keyshawn, I know it sounds silly. People they gonna laugh at this, so they gonna laugh me away. But I was like, okay, I don't know about Keyshawn mental. Is he gonna be focused? Yada yada yada. And Jermaine Ortiz had good showings against Loma and Tio. You know, some people think he beat Tio. I don't think he did enough. I don't think he's doing enough punches to beat T.O. His defense was on point, but
I
I don't
agree.
even. I hate to use the term running. I don't use it, but he just didn't do enough. You know what I mean? He was just defending on the back foot and not throwing enough back. But whatever. So Keyshawn, how he dominated Ortiz, it just showed me like, bro, forget that mental stuff. If it turned out that the mental stuff is holding them back, so be it. But I'm not. I can't pick off of that no more, man. That's the reason why I almost picked. No, I never was gonna pick Barrios to beat Ryan, but I was like, I gotta watch Ryan because I don't know how focused he's gonna be. But I ended up picking Ryan because it's like, bro, he's just way better than that dude. So it's like, of course he was gonna do that. And same with T.O. and Rolly. Like for me, I remember I text you. We was talking about it a little earlier in the week. I said the only way Rolly win is if he catch him.
Yeah.
Or if T.O. come into this fight overconfident and thinking like I've sparred you 1,000 times, I know what you about, and it's gonna be easy for me. That was the only way that Rolly was gonna win. And then T.O. came out, he did that, he still won. He
Right.
took he took the hardest punches of his career. I know he got dropped before, but it was probably this one was different. This one was different. Like, you know what I mean? Rolly can really crack, you know? And T.O. still respected his power because T.O. was getting in and out. Even though T.O. was on the front foot, he was getting in and out. He wasn't like sticking around throwing like 6 punch combinations. T.O. got that type of hand speed, but it's like you understand what you up against. You know what I mean? Rolly can
Yeah.
punch. So T.O. did respect Rolly tonight and he showed him his levels. But speaking about the 147-pound division overall, the division with Debo Devin Haney, as Bill Haney would say, how do you think a potential unification will look between Devin and Tio down the line?
I feel like Devin is that Ryan fight did so much damage to Devin as far as public image, but Devin is still that guy. I think his defense would be frustrating for Tio. I think if he's not trying to fight the fight like he fought Ryan, which I don't think he'll ever do that again, I think he will come out on top. I think he's the smarter fighter. If we're being honest, I think his dad is the better trainer. And I just feel like Devin would actually do things in the lead up to the fight that would get on Tio's nerves and maybe kind of rattle him a little bit. But at the same time, Tio is a big fighter, man. Like he seems to, minus the Shakur fight, always rise to the occasion. And I don't think Devin is very technical, but I don't think he's as technically sound as Shakur is. And I think it'd be a pretty close fight, but at the same time, I probably would lean Devin.
Yeah, I agree. He not technically sound as Shakur, but he do got more pop than Shakur, especially at 147. Um, I think that they both got some of the best jabs in boxing, so I wouldn't really give that advantage to either one of them. But yeah, Devin, He cracking that. Well, I ain't gonna say he cracking, but he punching at
He
147.
cracking for him. I'll say
You know
that.
what I mean? At 147, he cracking, bro. Like, relative to himself, he really is cracking. And like you said, I don't think he's ever fighting a fight like Ryan again. And that was one of them fights where kind of talking about how I texted you about T.O. being overconfident. You can tell Devin went into that fight like, oh, this dude can't rock with me. Like, I know they had a 3-3 amateur record, but in the pros, it hasn't been a comparison between them two.
Right.
So yeah, Devin came into that, and it's crazy though because Devin did win a lot of them, even though he took all that damage, and everybody think he just the worst fighter ever because he lost to a dude who was cheating on PEDs. I think he won. I think he won almost every round he didn't get dropped in. He just got
It's-
dropped. Just got dropped in so many rounds. But
yeah.
I, I still think that it's crazy how the narrative hasn't went to. Oh man, he was fighting a dude on PEDs and he literally got up every single time like a real warrior. Like
Yeah.
to me, it's kind of crazy how the narrative has never turned to that. And yeah, I do agree with you. Bill Haney is a better trainer than T.O. Senior. But shout out to T.O. Senior tonight. He was a lot better, a lot more focused, actually giving him like X's and O's and not just motivational talk. You know what I mean?
Right.
I did
Where's
hear
your
him once.
power, bro? Oh
I
my
did hear him
God.
one time say you got to hit him, and Tio said I am hitting him. I thought that was funny, but Rolly side in the corner, he just wasn't even acknowledging his trainer. Like he was just sitting there with a blank face. Like I don't know, man. Rolly was he's such an interesting dude, but it's like he beat Ryan, so he is about to still have money fights. Like
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think Rolly. I mean, his stock. I never thought he was. You know what I mean? So I think now he's back into that position where we all looking at him like, oh, he can punch, but he not really this great fighter. So, but I still think he got to have some more money fights. He might fight Conor Ben one day. You know what I mean?
He might get. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he
He
gonna get
might
a rematch. I think he'll get a rematch. I think he'll get a rematch.
with Ryan or
That's
with Tio.
with Tio. I think he'll get a rematch.
Mm, he gonna
One
get
because
he gonna
he
get
can
washed.
spin it. Because not only did the one judge have it as a tie, there was another judge. I think he had it at 115, 112. I think.
Yeah, 115, 113.
Thank you. He can spin it. He can say, "Hey, it was a close fight. I think I landed the bigger punches. Busted him open. I think the next fight I can get him." We can disagree with that, but he can spin it to where he can get a rematch. And I don't know if in the contract they had a rematch clause, but I wouldn't be surprised if he got one.
I just think that's disgusting. And that's in the rematch part. Like I don't mind that, but just to be dishonest with yourself and to say you didn't you didn't that wasn't a competitive fight.
It wasn't.
It wasn't competitive. Like the same way TL face was cut up, your wrist might be broke.
He's going to be pissing blood. He's pissing
Yes.
blood.
Like, so it's like that's so delusional. And I do think that the boxing talking heads with a lot of influence, they're not gonna let that fly. I think that when I watch Inside the Ring on Monday, I know some people don't like that show because they think it's like a propaganda show. But I just feel like I watched that show and I learned a lot, especially from like when Gabe on there, Tim Bradley on there. I feel like I learned a lot. Malik Scott. People can say what they want to say about Malik Scott, but I feel like I learned a lot when I watch him talk boxing. But I feel like Max, he not gonna man, like he got a lot of influence on people. He is about to let the world know. Rolly won 3 rounds max. 3 rounds max. Like, yeah, you had the bigger punch, but it's like in boxing, each round is a different fight.
For sure.
You won 2 or 3 fights out of a 12 fight. Like, so yeah, I feel like that'd be so disingenuous to spin that image. And he might, and again, I don't mind a rematch because I like you said, claws or not. Sometimes I do think the commendable thing is to get somebody a rematch. I wouldn't want to see it. I would much rather see TL fight Keyshawn or even Catterall next, because I think Catterall is more skilled than Rolly. Rolly just got heavy hands. Like even Tank said that was the hardest puncher he ever faced. But um
I think Teal going straight for Devin.
ooh, yeah, he did say that he won't Devin last. That's what he said for the undisputed. Because right now the other champ is who the champ's at 147 right now?
One more.
Ryan T.O. Devin. Who's the W? Who's the IBF champ at 147?
Pulling that
Mm.
up
Oh,
right. Oh,
it's Leon Perro.
okay.
So yeah, Tio is favored over Perro and Ryan Garcia. Easy money for me. But I would lean Devin. That's a big fight. Like you said, Tio usually is a big fighter. and he would be a big he'd be a big underdog in that fight probably. Maybe. Would he be like maybe a plus 250 maybe?
That's a good question.
I think Dave would be the favorite. I know like
I
you
think
said.
Devin would be the favorite. I wonder if they would, because it feels like Teal has this ebb and flow where, okay, when he
Mm-hmm.
wins, people realize he's that good, so maybe they make the odds closer. But when he loses, the odds seem to be bigger. Well, in this case, I mean, he was the favorite tonight by a pretty decent margin. I think he was minus 320. But I think against Devin, like you said, he'd be the underdog. It just depends on how much stock they put into tonight.
And like you said, I wonder does the public perception about the Ryan fight, how much does that still play into the odds? But I just feel like as a genuine viewer of the sport, man, come on, man. Like,
I,
and I do understand the PEDs or not, you still got to put your left hand up, and I mean you put your right hand up to block the left hook. I get that, but I also look at it like, bruh, getting punched by a PED fighter is just I don't know. I don't know what it do to you. Like I don't know if that And also, it was a sequence in that fight where Devin put it on Ryan, and Ryan just came back hitting his gloves. I'm like, oh yeah, he loaded. He out of his body. He ain't never. I know Devin ain't the biggest puncher in the world, but Ryan ain't never did that. You know what I mean? So
I
yeah, I can
think
see. I can see. I just say. Even Richardson Hitchens. I think that him fighting Rolly right now would be a step up from even what he been doing as of late. Because the dude he just fought, that was too easy. He looked good. He was sharp, but we got to see you do it against a higher competition. So like I said, I don't think Rolly done with his money fights, but I think he's back to being seen as the Ryan fight might have been either Ryan suck or that was a fluke. I think both things could be true personally.
I can. I can.
Mm-hmm.
I think Devin, if I was Devin personally, I would have been got that Ryan fight back in blood just because, just scrub that off your resume. Even though you can say he cheated, the public perception is that you lost and that you whined about it. So, like for me, I don't know if they've tried. It sounds like they've tried, at least going back and forth on socials. But I think Dev got to get that back at some point in the near future. Don't wait too long, and then get Ryan out of there, and then let's see what happens.
Yeah, Ryan is on record saying that he would never fight Devin again until Devin admit that he lost straight up, or that he admit that something got in his system and he didn't take it willingly. People say everything. Shakur talking about he'll fight Conor being at this. People boxers say anything, so I'm not really worried about that. But I agree. Devin do got to get that back in blood, and he gotta hurt Ryan. Like he can't just win. Like that 147 pop that put Brian Norman on the ground. Dev got to bring that against Ryan. And Dev got to fight this year, man. He ain't fought since November. Like, what's up? We gotta line this up.
It seemed like he's doing a lot of call outs with not a lot of action behind it. I don't know who's like you said, fighters can be weird. They can say one thing on social media and act a whole nother way on the phone with the promoters and whatnot. But yeah, it's time for all these guys to fight. Really, we're in an era where and now they've kind of changed divisions where you got, but at the time we had a division, or at least close enough divisions where we had Tank and Tio, Rolly, Devin, Shakur. I'm probably missing a couple names, but we just had guys where there were so many fights that could have happened and they didn't happen. So even when we did get Tank versus Ryan, I didn't really like the rehydration clause. I thought that was lame. So it's just like we haven't seen these guys really fight. I want to see him fight. Devin, at least his dad, Bill, he's been calling out Tank, seems like every week. But like Tank ain't gonna come up there.
I
And
was gonna say,
Devin probably
what
not
would
going back down.
what would they fight at? And again, I don't think
They said
I
I
don't
think
think I
I
don't
think they
think
said
Devin
144.
man, yeah, he because that was that's kind of what Shakur kind of offered, but I think even Devin saying yes on the internet to that was just a tactic. Like I don't think Devin is
Probably.
ever going down under 147 again. Like I don't think Bill is ever going to let stipulations compromise Devin in a fight ever again after he let Ryan come in there 3 pounds overweight. Three
Yeah.
pounds overweight plus the steroids. But like you said, I do agree with your point about the whining. The lawsuit, it was sticky. And I mean sticky like ugly, like just optically. Like in Devin point of view, it was like you cheated me, and in boxing, once you lose one fight, your stock really do go down. Like your money really go down. So you got that. You do got like a real legal case, but as the boxer side of it, come on, bro. Like that's you fight for a living. Go fight him. Like like this ain't basketball where you know what I mean. He do a crossover, you can't do nothing. Like you fight for a living. So
Facts.
optically, yeah, I do agree that was ugly, but I am on the side that Devin gonna beat him in that rematch if it happened. It gotta happen. So yeah, I got Devin.
I think I got Devin against really anybody minus Shakur if they ever decide to go at it. I just think Devin, his IQ, his defense, like you said, he has more pop at this weight. He might even go up to 154 at some point.
Now
I
it
don't
is
know.
somebody, it is somebody at 154 that I don't think he gonna beat.
I was talking about at 147. I'm not saying
For
that. I'm saying
sure.
just at 147. I think he would beat
For
pretty much
sure.
anyone. But
Cause I'm see
if he does decide to go 154, we'll see.
cause I see a lot of people, not a lot, but I see some people calling for the Boots fight, and I'm like, Boots ain't no regular. I hear y'all. Xander, he hit him, he hurt him in one round, but that shouldn't be the story of that fight when Xander was on his butt 3 times.
Yeah.
And Xander way bigger than all the dudes we talk about. Like, and I do understand that Boots defense can be leaky at times, but one, he a Philly fighter, and two, it seemed like when he get hit, he turn up more. Like he one of them type of fighters. And I don't think Devin is the type of fighter that can take advantage of like hurting them. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe Virgil, but I still feel like Virgil even he done been on the canvas a few times himself, you know. So when people say that Virgil could take advantage of Boots being vulnerable, what Boots gonna do to him? When Boots
Right.
faster and punch harder than him, and he's stronger than him. So like, what's that gonna look like? So I do think that I agree with you. Only people that I would favor against Devin is Shakur at any weight. Even if they fight at 147, I just feel like Shakur, it seemed like he's not ready for that. Like maybe it seemed like I believe in him more than he believes in himself, but I still do believe skills pay the bills. And I can't even say that because we is as a community asking Shakur to do something we never asked nobody to do. Like
Right.
dude fought at 135 last year, and now he a sucker for not going to 147 to fight Devin. Now he bring that on himself when he be talking. He bring that on
Yeah.
himself. But when we strictly just talking about the sport, like that don't happen no more. Maybe back in the 1900s, like even before Muhammad Ali and them, people was like going to weight class to weight class to weight class in less than a year. But that don't happen no more. Like Bud was at 140 for 3 years. He was at 135 for a long time. He
Yep.
was at 147 for like eight, 9 fights. Like that don't happen, man. Like Shakur fought at 135 last year, so I understand why he not ready to jump to full blown welterweight. But at the same time, you just got to stop talking about them dudes right now,
Yeah. You
because
definitely.
optically, everybody gonna say you ducking or you scared when the fight don't go down because you've been talking about you will fight Conor Ben at 147. Now, mind you, he did say with a rehydration clause with all of these dudes. That is the context that get lost a lot. But I, like you said, I don't want to see no rehydration clause with none of these fights. Like that's lame. Fight the dude straight up, you know.
Yeah. It's
So
definitely lame. It's we're at like a good time in boxing and a bad time at the same time because there's a lot of potential fights to be made. The guys just aren't making them. But I mean, what can you do? We just gotta hang on to hope, I guess, and hope eventually they decide to fight each other. I thought we kind of had hit a turning point a few years back when we finally got Earl and Bud, and I thought other guys would be willing to kind of dare to be great as well. And we have had some people dare to be great, like we had Bud dare to be great again against Canelo. We had Ryan and Tank, despite the rehydration clause. Even tonight, Rolly and To, they're friends, and they decided to fight each other. So I mean, it's just more guys that are there to be great, more guys that have to want to be great. It's not just about the check. It's not just about being the most famous. This is boxing, and as long as I've watched boxing, as long as you watch boxing, the guy is there to be great. Granted, you might say maybe Floyd was a bit different, and maybe he changed that pathway. But the history of boxing, is, as I know it, and I'm sure as you know it, is the guys that were the top fought the guys that were at the top, and I wanted to get back to that.
yeah, and then I know a lot of people do kind of blame Floyd for where the sport is going, and like He wanted to protect his zero and all of that stuff. He did fight. He did fight everybody you wanted him to fight. It was just the timing of it. You
Yeah.
know, it was just always he fought Pacquiao in 2015. They should have fought in 2010.
Yeah.
You know, but he fought an older Shane Mosley, but at the same time, Mosley way older than him, and they was weight classes apart at a point. So, um, yeah, Floyd, not my goat, but he is like undeniable one of them. But I can see how people coming up watching him and his rise. They we seen Money Made more than we seen Pretty Boy. You know, I was born in '98, so that's the year was Floyd was like first came on the pound for pound list. So you know what I mean? I was a little kid. I was a baby when Floyd was Pretty Boy. So I grew up seeing Money Made. So a lot of our the boxers our age, Shakur, Boots, and all of them, that's what they seen too. They seen Money Made. So they kind of seen, oh, I could make all this money fighting Buddy
Yeah.
instead of fighting dude that's really a threat, and I could probably make what 5 more million. So I ain't gonna blame Floyd for beating the system, but like I do see what you mean, like that. It contribute to what we see now. But yeah, that's all it is. We got some special boxers now, man. We just got to see them fight. Like shout out to Inoue. We haven't said his name. You know,
Oh yeah.
the black community or the black casual don't say his name too much, but he would everything. The
Mm.
man say he waiting for Bam to come up. If Bam don't come up, cool. I'm going to 126. So it's like if Inoue can conquer 126 too, bro, we literally looking at like one of them. Like I already think he one of them. Like I think he
We probably got to fight over here a little bit more though for him to get that type of recognition.
and then to that point, it just be like, man, him and Nakatani just made they gate was 32 million.
Oh, he's
So
popular. I didn't.
no, for sure.
He's popular, but as far as
Right.
us, the United States, a couple Vegas fights wouldn't hurt him. I
No, for
promise you.
sure. But then he looking at it like, man, if I fight Bam in Japan, we gonna have 80,000 people there.
Yeah,
So it just be like, I don't know. I do get that sentiment of how we want to see them, but at the same time, I just look at it like, damn, man, the rest of the world, they exist, and it's like over there. Like I don't know if him and Ben will make more money in America. I don't actually. I mean, actually, I don't think so. Like, but
he
I do
probably
hear what
would.
you're saying for just like if you want the casual person to say the casual American, I should say, because like I said, overseas he that dude. But if you want the casual American to say, like I'm saying, I think he might be the best little man to do it. Maybe he got some more stuff to prove, but he don't know. And like he talking about he gonna keep fighting the best until he retire. Like it don't sound like he ever gonna take like the little easy fights. So
That's something I can respect.
man, got to, especially in this era, because it's like you said a few years ago, we had all of them dudes at 135, all of them,
Yeah.
and none of them fought. You
No,
know, so yeah, Inoue versus uh Loma, that could be a possibility. That would be like a big old American fight, depending on kind of don't matter where that's at because Americans love Loma. We think we respect his fighting abilities a lot, but yeah, I respect Inoue so much. Him versus Bam, I know Bam is skillful. He younger, but I don't know, man. I just think Inoue he bigger, he's stronger, and I think he an all timer, man. I really think he one of them. So I don't think I'm ever gonna pick against Inoue in a fight. I really don't think so, unless he go up to 135 and fight. Like I don't know. But right now, I don't see myself picking against Inoue.
I want to make one more point before we get out of here because I saw a tweet and I sent it to you. Let's bring back the HBO fight nights, man. The zone, I mess with you. I like you. Let's get back to bro. I miss 24/7. That's what I miss. Bring back the 24. That's how fighters Floyd made 24/7 the ultimate thing. I miss the 24/7. This fight was great, and I enjoyed watching it. However, I wasn't gonna pay $80 for it. I wasn't gonna do that. I wouldn't. If I
Yeah.
had to come on here and tell you I watched a live TikTok stream, I would have been honest and watched a live TikTok stream. I love T.O. I mess with Rolly. I'm not paying $80. And every fighter, get your money. That's what we're here for. Get your money, take care of your family. I personally am not paying 80 ball to watch T.O. and Rolly. I'll do it for Devin and Shakur. I'd do it for Boots and Bud. I'd do it for Tank and anybody like that of the big names, like a Tank and Devin. I'm not doing it for T.O. and Rolly. I'm sorry. Let's bring back the fight nights. Let's bring that back, man. We gotta find something out about this. I don't like this.
No, I agree 100%. I know TNT is kind of doing that right now with the fight that they have once a month, but they main event in September ain't it. Like you went from who was it the first fight? Abdullah Mason versus Albert Bell. That's
Oh, yeah,
cool. We love Abdullah Mason. Then the next fight you go Zepeda and Lamont Roach. That's cool. That was a barn,
yeah,
Zepeda show people that he really is like that. But then once you go Andy Ruiz versus I'm sorry, I don't know who he fighting. That's not keeping that momentum up. So TNT is trying to, but man, like you said, man, Showtime, HBO, them was the days. Like Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins, two of the greatest of all time. All of these fights was on there basically, you
yeah.
know. And I do think that just kind of showed the era we in, not even in boxing, but just in TV and content in general. Everything is behind the paywall. Like my local newspaper, the high school sports is behind the paywall.
Nope. I
You
don't
talking
like
about
that.
you talking about Friday night, the touchdowns. You can't read that unless you got a subscription. So it just kind of show the world we in right now. Everybody want to monetize everything, and it's just different, man. So I agree. I did not pay the 80 ball for this fight, and I respect the fighters too. But it's just like in this economy, that's not realistic for a lot of people to pay $80 for a fight that's I didn't see how Rolly was going to win. Like you said, but Bud and Boots, Tank and Shakur, Devin and Tank. Like, of course, I'm dropping it. I'm having a fight party at the crib.
Facts.
But if I was to invite folks over, they'd be like, I'm coming because it's for you, but who is Rolly?
Yeah.
T.O., didn't he just get destroyed in January? I'm trying to explain to Buddy, like, no, bro, he really liked that. Like he beat Lomachenko, but like that was back then. But I'm trying, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that's hard to sell. $80?
$80.
Nah.
They need to find a model similar to the UFC where now they're on Paramount. There are no more pay-per-views. You paying the Paramount whatever it is a month. And you know what I mean? I love UFC, so I'm gladly paying that whatever it is. I think it's like $12, whatever it is.
But that go back to I'm not necessarily a fan of Zulfa because I do kind of see the play that they trying to do. They trying to come in and pay everybody these astronomical amounts, but at the end of the day, they gonna try to pay fighters like they pay the UFC fighters.
Yeah,
Uh
which
but the
isn't
UFC
much.
the UFC is one league. These
Yeah,
there's no organization, so it's like that's kind of hard to ink a deal with Paramount when it's like who you gonna have fighting on Paramount for boxing? Like you can't guarantee that you're gonna get Shakur versus Tank. You can't guarantee that. So it's like that's kind of why these pay-per-view models are still a thing, and it's gonna die out eventually. It's dying right now. The zone is kind of holding on to its last leg. This not gonna be a thing for 10 more years. I guarantee you that. We'll see what the next thing look like, but it might have something to do with YouTube and TikTok. Like Amanda Serrano, she just had her fight on TikTok live. I just think that the NBA is finna link they about to link a deal with all the local teams. All their games is on YouTube. So I think YouTube and TikTok and the other social media platforms they might become a player in sports more and more.
I agree with you on that one. But with that being said, do you have anything else to add from tonight?
Man, y'all gonna hate when I say it, but y'all know he my boy. Shakur resume aging better again.
It is.
Shout out to you though. That was a great win. Rolly, you will be back. You'll have some more money fights. Having a good career. The Hall of Fame stuff, I don't know. But yeah, man. As a person who just watched the sport and then kind of don't really care about who else watch it, I'm loving what we getting, man. Last week I watched Clarissa. Like next week I get Moses Atama. Like I just feel like every week, it's some good stuff for me to watch, man. It's good fighters. So they just got to fight each other. But it's good fighters out there. But yeah, I like what I saw tonight, and it was good stuff. Good stuff.
Absolutely. We will be back in a few days. We're gonna work that out. We'll be back in a few days. But
Got to talk Clay Thompson. Got to talk
Oh
Peyton
yeah,
Watson.
we'll have that, and I have some Deshaun Watson thoughts as well. We got to bring that back one
Ooh,
time.
that
He
might be a
said
topic for the whole year, my boy, until he's not
he,
starting no more.
he said something today that kind of irked me, but I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you.
We'll be back in a few days. I'm Justin.
I'm
And,
Brennan.
there it is, and we'll be back later on. Peace out,
See y'all
y'all.
soon.